lot going on in the transfer window, the Premier League, in Serie A, in La Liga, all over the place. There is a lot of breaking news. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel at Diego C Palace, please hit a like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. Now, écoutez, mesdames et messieurs, there is a lot of things going on here. We've had a manager has been released from his contract, and now there's speculations of who else is going to come in. And of course, we're talking about Everton FC. Is that is that move now by Everton to release Sean Dyche from his services as the Everton manager? Is that now going to be become a domino effect and affect start the dominoes dropping in the January transfer window for many clubs associated with transfers, movies, comings and goings at Everton FC and also at other football clubs, because clearly Sean Dyche, I think, is a very good manager, and if they need a good manager, he's available now, I expect. There's also interest about Marcus Rashford. There's a little interest there between Marcus Rashford and West Ham. His associates have been to Italy. They've also been to also at they're saying that I've heard reports that they are also where's the control? Where's my control? They've also Marcus Rashford has been his agent and his entourage, apparently they've been going also to Spain. They're having a European tour a la carte of a la carte to see which options could come about for Marcus Rashford. But yes, the breaking news right now, there seems to be showing a bit of interest between Marcus Rashford going to there's an interest to West Ham United. Of course, they've got a new manager there in Graham Potter. That was announced. Please check out the previous this morning's watch along. And also, it has to be said, him going to AC Milan, there are too many good strikers, wingers there in form at AC Milan, and I just can't see it happening. There could be a SWAT deal for Marcus Rashford on the card, so that could also domino affect other stuff as well. Please hit a like and subscribe at Diego C Palace. But the breaking news within the last few minutes is that Sean Dyche has been released from his contract at Everton. Now, I've always said from the beginning that hold on, I'm just making sure that nothing is going, that I'm not missing anything breaking news, but it has to be said. Whenever I saw that there was a new takeover at a football club, I always say that the coaching staff and the manager, it's just like a natural evolution in football where things have to change. Though there's for some reason new ownerships comes in, and they want to establish a new man there at their football club, and Everton FC has also done that. Now, I just can't find my remote control, and it's like doing my head in. What have I done with it? I mean, it's like, am I sitting on it again? That's what it was last time. I'm just going to look for the control. 1 minute. Ah, there it is. All right, here we go. 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 Please subscribe at Diego C Palace if you are new. Let me just put this one up there also, just in case on other breaking news. I've got it on 3. Well, actually, I've got 4 channels on the row. My sources are going to be obviously Fabrizio Romano. Big up to Fabrizio Romano out there. Reputable sources, and also Sky Sports Transfer Centre, and also some other YouTube content creators there that sometimes are ahead of the whatnot sort of media and outlets out there. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe at Diego C Palace. This is my second ever sort of watch along live. I did one earlier on this morning at 9 o'clock today, and this is my second one. And it's just to keep people updated, to see how it bounces off and see if people are interested. I'm sure everybody out there whom is a football fan, when you wake up in the morning, you look at your mobile phone, and before you sort of even wake up, you're looking at it and you're refreshing it to see what is the latest. And some of you will probably have notifications, bells on. Please set your notification bell at the AOC Palace if you could. But that's what happens. And it has to be said, that every football fan will have their notifications bell on certain social media outlets to ensure that they get the latest breaking news on transfers. But it has been confirmed, not just by Sky Sports Centre, Transfer Centre. It's also been confirmed by Everton FC, and I'm just trying to find it because I had it here a minute ago. And this is a oh, it's not coming up. It's not coming up. There it is. Right, so it has been confirmed by Everton FC. So this is from Everton FC officially, and it goes as follows. It quotes, "It's within 40 minutes breaking news. Sean Dyche has been released from his services as the Everton manager." Now, for me, I think it's clear to see and to say they're getting rid of a very good manager there, and they clearly must have an idea and a concept of whom is next to be coming in. I've just got the thing. I'm just making sure I've got another one up here running to see I don't miss anything. Just bear with me. Let me just turn this down. I don't want to get in trouble with. Come on, come on. And of course, now that well, I'll go into the possible replacements for Everton in a sec. They're a bit obvious, actually, some of them, and we'll have to wait and see. Oh, 1 minute. There we go. Right, this is officially from Everton FC, so it doesn't get more reputable than that. The source is Everton FC, and they've released a statement out at approximately 4:30 today. And it says as follows: Everton Football Club can confirm that Sean Dyche has been relieved of his duties as a senior men's first team manager with immediate effect. Ian Weinstein, Steve Stone, Mark Harwood, Billy Mercer have also left the club. So those are, of course, the coaching staff that were working alongside with Sean Dyche at Everton FC. They've also been released with immediate effect. Quoting also the statement, it goes on to say, "The process of appointing a new manager is underway and an update will be provided in due course." So Everton clearly have got someone in mind. It'd be ludicrous to I mean, I can't believe that they wouldn't have a not just one, but possibly 1 to 3 candidates to replace and to move, given that they've released a Sean Dyche and his coaching staff of their services at the first team men's manager and coaches at Everton. So for now, Everton has confirmed on an official announcement that so quoting them now, the under-18s head coach Leighton Baines and the club captain Siemens Coleman will take charge of first team affairs on an interim basis. So that tells you, I think, that they're making a statement saying that they are now in the process of looking for a new manager at Everton FC, and I expect that Everton would have had negotiations, certainly ideas of not just a favourite candidate, but I would say another 2 that could fulfil their needs to take them on to where they want to get to. Now we all know Everton are not safe numerically in the Premier League, so I think that would be something that is a priority for the football club. That whomever they bring in, they've got to deliver and better consistent results and drag them a bit up towards the middle part of the Premier League. So this has effect on my Crystal Palace. So and also I think that this manager changing early on in the transfer window will have a knock effect on what is going to be happening for other transfers within the season, within the transfer window. The reason why I say that is because the new manager now who's going to be appointed at Everton, or behind the scenes right now, before even that's announced officially by Everton, they would also have in due course, you would have thought, Everton, players that may be released and players who'll be coming in. Depending on the opponent, depending on the manager that is appointed at Everton FC. Of course, they will have a style of play, and they will attract, or basically say to some of the players at Everton, saying, do you know what, time's up here as well for me as well. So managers that are, without even reading the report here, managers that could be in line to replace Sean Dyche, there won't be any short. Everton will be a very good attraction for any managers out there who are currently in another football club, and also excuse me, who may be um, interested in um, in being a manager in the Premier League. Now, it's a fact that I've lost this tablet. It's just absolutely. I need to get a new tablet. Anyway, um, please hit a like and subscribe. Help me get to 5 likes if you can in the live chat. It is said it would Sky I think it was back in October of last year. Um, um, yeah, I'm pretty sure Mourinho had an interview with Sky Sports where he said, and I'm quoting him, "I'm never going to a team fighting relegation. I will never go." Now, Everton fans, do they think that they are fighting a relegation scrap right now? I think anyone below 10 are in a relegation situation. I'm not saying that everyone below the 10th place in the Premier League will go down. Of course not. But they certainly have a due concern. My Crystal Palace, they're looking to keep climbing and climbing up. We've picked up a point of jammy Chelsea fans, and that was a walk in the park, quite frankly. We should have got another. We should have got the 3 points there. So, does Everton FC attract a manager like Jose Mourinho? Within 6 months ago, back in I think it was October, November, he had an interview with Sky Sports, and he said, quoting Jose Mourinho to Sky Sports, he said, "I'm never going to a team fighting relegation. I will never go." And then he goes on to say, "It's hard. Honestly, I believe has to be the hardest thing. It's more difficult than playing for titles." And he's absolutely honest about that. Jose Mourinho confirming that it has to be very hard emotionally because it's something that changes lives. And Jose Mourinho, that's what I love about Jose Mourinho. He is one of those managers that is quite frank, direct, and some people out there, they don't think that they're their cup of tea. But so that's what he said at the end of last year to Sky Sports. And another report that's come in also within half an hour relating to Everton, the Sky Sports News, their reporter, Vinny O'Connor, is there in the freezing cold at Goodison Park. And he's reported the following. So this is a Sky Sports reporter reporting at Goodison Park with extra layers on because it is a bit chilly out there, I can't lie. Real talk. And he goes on to say, so this is Vinny O'Connor at Goodison Park, says, "It's all about results. And if Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman start getting results immediately, it would make sense to keep them in place until the end of the season." Quoting him on still, he goes, "Sean Dyche knew himself it was a result game and that he had to prove himself with the new owners coming in. The only way to prove himself was to get the results to pull Everton away from the drop." Vinny O'Connor at Goodison Park, on behalf of Sky News, goes on to say that will give him a chance of making the club into the next season. Of course, into the next stadium next season, because obviously they've built their new stadium, which is further on. I'm going to keep quoting him. Then he goes, "The game's coming up. It could be a nice start to start momentum against Peterborough. Of course, that's in the FA Cup for Everton. Then it's Villa, Spurs in back-to-back home games. Then Brighton away and Leicester at Goodison Park. That's a massive game. Then Palace Come on, Palace, we've got to get 3 points. And Manchester United, no. The Sky Sports reporter, Vinny O'Connor, he didn't go, come on, Palace. I'm just threw that one in there. The last thing he said there, outside Goodison Park, and I'm quoting Vinny O'Connor, the Sky Sports football representative there, reporter, he goes on to say, it's a tough run of fixtures for Everton, and the owners felt they need to take action now to separating them from the bottom three. And that's what everyone's trying to do in the bottom 10. They're trying to get clear of the bottom three, Southampton, Ipswich Town, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, but they're still within point region. So if you're new to the channel, please help me get to 5 likes. This is an afternoon breaking news. Sean Dyche has been relieved with his coaching staff with immediate effect, as it's been announced by Everton FC publicly. And I've just read out the Sky Sports reporter, Vinny O'Connor, at Goodison Park, all wrapped up because it's quite chilly there. Now, this brings me on, with respect to Everton, is who is the next candidate? I've already mentioned Jose Mourinho and the Sky, and I referenced the Sky Sports interview that he did late at the end of last year, and he's very honest where he said, I'm not going to read it out again, that he wouldn't like to go to a relegation club, not word for word, but he said something like that. And also he went to say that's probably one of the hardest things to do because it's a very emotional task to take on for any manager. Because quoting Jose Mourinho, he goes on to say it involves people's lives. It's not just the players, the coaching staff. It involves the structure of a football club, the staff that work at the football club. It defines, I expect, financially, in the short term and long term, aspirations of revenue for a football club that goes from the Premier League down, and then perhaps maybe comes back straight back up, or actually just probably look what's happened to Luton Town. It has monumental effect for the club, for the people that work at the club, the people who are the proprietors of the club, and most importantly, it has a major effect for the football fans. Not just financially as well, but psychologically. It hits you. I've been through that as a Crystal Palace fan, been a Palace fan since in the late 80s, and it hits you. It stays with you. But of course, when you go back up, it's a wonderful feeling as well. But it hits you, it stays with you. That's why I always say, people that say, oh, I wish you would get relegated, I'm going to myself, have you actually lived it, son? Oh, man, have you actually lived it? And if you haven't, be careful what you wish on others, because if you haven't lived it, if you haven't walked the talk, if you haven't experienced it, if you haven't been through that chapter in your life, be careful what you decide. Now, what other candidates, without reading the report, there's 2 candidates I think that would be that would be a favourite candidate to replace Sean Dyche at Everton. Please hit a like and subscribe at DYCHE Palace if you're new. Help me get to 5 likes if you could. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe at DYCHE Palace. And for me, I think Jose Mourinho is not the strongest candidate, in my opinion, because had he been, the club wouldn't have appointed somebody to take an interim at the moment. They just wouldn't have done it. So for me, I think the obvious option for Everton, and I think for Everton fans, would be someone like David Moyes, who not on 2 seasons ago took West Ham to successful silverware in Europe. So it's I think that will be the aspirations I expect of Everton fans and the Everton new ownership. Yeah, I think David Moyes. There's also a few whispers going around that perhaps Lee Carsley could become his assistant. Maybe, I don't know, and let's not forget that the Everton new owners, Paul Fonseca, he has worked with the Everton's owners. So there's other candidates out there. I think it's the timing of removing a manager because you want to creep out from the bottom three or to get clear of the relegation is crucial. Um, we're not at the end of a transfer window; we're at the beginning of the transfer window. So this is going to have an effect on, as I said earlier on the Everton players. Will these players, how would they react to the the interim management that is there? And also how will they react with as names get flipped and flopped all over the place, linked up with Everton FC. So that's breaking news. It's official from the official club, um, and um, and then now that begins the process of replacing Sean Dyche and his coaching staff at Everton. Now, the next one I've got to mention is it's just crept up in the last few sort of hours. Marcus Rashford of Manchester United to West Ham United. They've just landed Graham Potter. That will be a statement signing. Would do West Ham United fans out there, do they want Marcus Rashford? As an outsider looking into this situation, I think there's still a player in Marcus Rashford. Put aside the wages, put aside there's clearly a situation that he needs to confront, whether he wants a new challenge at Manchester United or elsewhere. It's clearly evident that he does want to move away. If he didn't, his agent, which I believe is his brother, he wouldn't have gone and made the trip to AC Milan. And the word is that they're also not touring, but they're also travelling, or probably are right now, as we speak, as you hear me, in Spain, and listening to opportunities for that to take course. What that tells me is clearly that Manchester United have put a green flag for that. So they want the best interest for Marcus Rashford, of course, and also I expect that if it's at Manchester United, they'll work around it, and Ruben Amorim will turn it around. I can't see why Ruben Amorim wouldn't be able to turn it around, but the player has to be right in the right place, in the mind, and on his endeavour. Some may ask, is that, well, he did sign a contract. You know, no one forced him to sign that contract at Manchester United. That's my understanding. He signed it, so, and he's receiving an exchange of a wage for a part of his services. So get on with it, sort of thing. But it's not as simple as that, especially when the transfer window is at the mist and your agent has clearly been given the go-ahead to publicly go to like AC Milan. I don't think Marcus Rashford will go to AC Milan, quite frankly, because AC Milan, as you saw, I did a watch along for the Italian Supercoppa, where they beat Inter Milan and they won a trophy this year. They've got too many attacking wingers and in-form strikers at AC Milan, and I just can't see Marcus Rashford right now dislodging any of them right now. Maybe if he was at top peak level, perhaps, but not with Tammy Abraham, and also they've got Pulisic there, Morata. There's too many there that are in form right now, so he will be at the bottom of that pecking order. And so, what's he going to go over there and just sit on the bench and just go shopping? Possibly, I don't know. So, I would have thought that if Marcus Rashford is going to leave Manchester United to a new project, then he should go to somewhere where he's going to get game time on that grass. I think that would have been evident, but we'll see what happens. Now, what they're saying here now is, just trying to find it. But in the meantime, please help me get to 5 likes if you can, and get me to 2,000 subscribers. I'll be really grateful if you can help me get to that task. And this is a report from Sky Sports News. It's a gentleman called Mark Adam, and he's saying the following, quoting him: And big up to Sky Sports. They come up with very good content on the transfer show at Sky Sports. But Mark McAdam goes on to say, the latest club to show their hand are West Ham United, in bold capital letters. But they know it's a difficult deal to do. There is a lot of interest for Marcus Rashford, and I'm not surprised to hear that, what Mark McAdams is saying. He goes on to say, quoting him, um, he's on huge wages. I wouldn't fit into their structure. But if you take a player on loan, they can be creative. So this is what I'm quoting him now. This is what I say. I think there's still a player in Marcus Rashford, hence all the interest. But the project, it has to be right for him. If it's not, then he's back to square one of what the situation that perhaps he's experiencing at Manchester United. Now, he goes on to say, Mark McAdams goes on to confirm that West Ham have contacted Manchester United and said to keep them in the loop. Now, so there's an interest clearly there from West Ham United. And Manchester United are clearly aware of it now because it's just been reported. I'm passing the message on to you. And consequently there, and then he goes on to say, I will say this, Como is very interested and could make a deal happen. AC Milan are also interested. His agent has been over to Italy, Juventus and Borussia Dortmund are also keen. That's quoting McAdams, a Sky Sports News reporter there on the transfer show of Sky Sports. Now, I have to say, one, not surprised that clubs will be interested in what's available, what kind of deals could be done. I don't think anyone will purchase Marcus Rashford in January. As a Crystal Palace fan, looking in and out of the situation, I'm going to come into why it affects my Crystal Palace in a minute. I think there'll always be interest, and that's why this club's interested, and that's why he's clearly his agent has been given sort of the green flag to go out there and just go out and talk to clubs and see what they can sort of hook and bring back to the club and show them as a possibility of options, not just to the football club, but I expect also to Marcus Rashford himself. So that's ongoing. How does this affect Crystal Palace? It's very simple. With Marcus Rashford leaving Manchester United, in my opinion, it's going to free up options for Ruben Amorim and Ineos at working with alongside Sir Jim Ratcliffe at Manchester United for other options that could facilitate Ruben Amorim to get that football club, Manchester United, up into the top 10. At the moment, they're down there with my beloved Crystal Palace, and I'm not saying this as banter, but I expect my Crystal Palace to finish above Manchester United at the end of this season. I'm not saying that as banter. I'm saying that because of the football that I've seen from my Palace players this season. We need to be finishing. We have to. It can be done. My target is to finish above Brighton FC and push up as high as we can. But of course, this loan deal for Marcus Rashford away from Manchester United is going to start the dominoes to drop, and then things will happen within Manchester United, and he'll ricochet in other transfers, other football clubs like my Crystal Palace, in my opinion. I'm just wondering if Graham Potter, who's now the West Ham United manager, said to Karen Brady at West Ham, yeah, if you can land him, I'll take that. Also breaking news now, it's just breaking news about within the last 10 minutes. Actually, we're talking about Manchester United. It has been officially confirmed. It's not new news, but Amad Diallo an amazing prospect at Manchester United, of course, and in football terms, he has signed his future to Manchester United with a deal extending it till 2030. Please hit a like and subscribe at DYCHE Palace. Please help me get to 5 likes if you can. So this is breaking news. Amad Diallo is breaking signed a deal within the last 10-15 minutes, and it is he's only 22 years old. He's a very cool customer on the ball in pressure moments. He has been making statement performance, in my opinion, under Ruben Amorim with his new formation of playing 3 at the back wingers and just attack the opposition. He's I think at times when he's played for Ruben Amorim, even through difficult results, I think he has been a breath of fresh air for the Manchester United. Even when they've not got a point, I think there's a player there, and hence why I suppose the club have signed him until 2030. This is a report. It doesn't say who reported it. A personal. It just says Sky Sports, but it doesn't say the person who's reported it, so I can't put a name to it, but it is from Sky Sports. And he goes on to say, Amad has emerged as a star performer of United, both under Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim, following an initial slow start to his Old Trafford career after joining from Atalanta, of course, in 2020. The report goes on to say from Sky Sports, Amad has scored at both the Etihad Stadium and Anfield to underline his pedigree as United collect 4 points from visits to Manchester City and Liverpool in recent weeks, and has now put pen to paper on a 5.5-year deal to commit his future to the club. Of course, Sky Sports there are quoting Manchester United. So I think that would be. There's one thing that I'm going to say though. Normally, when you have a new manager in a football club and a player like this signs a contract, well, certainly at Crystal Palace, what we do is when the player signs the contract, Steve Parish and the manager is there to in the picture with him, and in the picture that I've seen thus far, it's just him signing the dotted paper, and maybe I'm not stirring up anything, but I'm pretty sure that someone, either the manager or someone on behalf of the club, from a seniority position, will be there to for that moment. Because are they serious about it or not? Of course they are, because they've signed him. I'm not saying that they're not serious, but I just think he should have the manager at least standing next to him or sitting there next to him. I could be wrong. It could be wrong. Maybe he is there, because for him, I think Amad Diallo, I think he has deserved that new contract, and there's nothing there on wages, but they have done that. So I will say congratulations to the young man. He's only 22 years old. He's clearly not at his peak, but he's definitely, I think, in my opinion, justified in his performances. Even when Manchester United as a team have failed on the pitch, he has been a fresh air on that pitch, and actually led the veteran, experienced players at Manchester United of what to do and what not to do. So well done to Amad Diallo. He has signed a 5.5-year deal commitment to the football club. So, but as I say, I don't see Ruben Amorim, or I don't see anyone from Ineos standing either side of him. They could be there. Maybe this is the picture they selected. Now, going to Liverpool now, and I'm going to come into Liverpool now. There has been an interest for Elliott from Liverpool. He's normally not a starting lineup player. I think he's a very good player. I think he has recovered from that injury a season and a half ago, And it's just a report also from Sky Sports News. Mark McAdams, he's getting about, he's a busy lad for Sky News on the transfer show, and he's reported potentially a couple of clubs, I'm quoting him now, potentially a couple of clubs have spoken to Liverpool. There is interest from the Bundesliga, potentially for the summer. Great player, one to keep an eye on. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Elliott from Liverpool. The question I would then add now to this report from Sky Sports News is if he does leave in January, was that a club decision or was that um, Arnold Slot? Because I think it matters. If you're going to go, I would have thought, combined for both the Champions League and the Premier League titles, you need to have a squad in depth. I'm a Crystal Palace fan. What do I know about Champions Leagues and winning the Premier League? But as a football fan, from the outside looking in, I would have thought you need to have quality squad in depth. And I think Elliott, in my opinion, Elliott is a good squad in depth. And I was actually surprised that he doesn't start sometimes against certain opponents when he features for Liverpool. But then they are top of the league and top of the Champions League, so I suppose they're getting something right. My tablet's just frozen. I don't know what's happened here, so I can't. Maybe it's just too hot, so I'm gonna just reduce the brightness. I've got to get a new tablet. Oh, here we go. We're back to it. So yeah, that's broken news for Manchester United fans out there. If you are interested in that, no doubt that's no secret, and we'll have to wait and see. This is a report now from which is no secret. AC Milan has made it clear to Marcus Rashford representatives that he would have a leading role in the team. Now, Rashford's brother, his agent, Dwayne Maynard, was in Milan on Wednesday to understand what various teams can give Rashford in terms of space, role, and employment. Milan have made a number of top forwards. Of course, Rafael Leao, I mentioned this just a minute ago, Alvaro Morata, Tammy Abraham, Samuel Chukwueze, and Christian Pulisic. So there is inform and injury-free wide and forward essential players there already at AC Milan, and they've just won silverware. All right. So if Marcus Rashford goes to AC Milan, is he going to feel like a fifth wheel, like the fifth wheel on a car? You know, is he going to be utilised? I don't know. And let me just see, because I'm just seeing something that might come up. Why is that lost? I've got 4 devices on the go in case something breaks, and if it breaks live when I'm live, then I'll be able to break the news to anybody out there. Please help me get to 5 likes if you can. This is a just an afternoon breaking news. This is my second transfer. Why is it doing that? Just look. I wonder if it's my Wi-Fi's still alright because I've got a good signal. So you know, it is still live. So let's go over to the other side and see what we get. If you're watching on playback, please subscribe at Diego C. Palace if you are new. Oh, more days. So there I've covered Sean Dyche has been released in a nutshell from Everton as the first team coach, and also his backroom staff. They've also been released from immediate effect as Everton has officially announced, and now Everton FC are in course now looking for a replacement. Jose Mourinho, with the Sky Sports interview at the end of last year, clearly said that he didn't want to go to a football club that's scrapping out of a relegation, because he said, quoting Jose Mourinho, It's got to be one of the most difficult jobs to do. It's a very emotional thing because he affects people's lives, not just the players, not just the coaching staff, not just the people that own the club. I'm sure he meant to say the fans as well. So he's very honest, Jose Mourinho. So I don't think he'll be going to Everton with the new ownership. Um, I think it'll probably be David Moyes, in my opinion. Um, but they've put people in interim at Everton for the meantime, so maybe they might have to do that. Now, other things to keep an eye on, if there's any Manchester United fans out there, um, there is left back and left wing back areas are um, it's something that Manchester United are looking to address, I expect. Of course, they've got injuries to Luke Shaw, to Tyrell and Malacia, and and uh, and right, quite frankly, they're playing Diogo Dalot, who kicks the ball with his right foot. Um, um, I'm just saying this. Why did they get rid of Awan Bissaka? Anyway, it's just anyway, it is what it is. So they're going to have to look at that. Manchester United, of course, they've already agreed a deal for Diego Leon, the youngster, the 17-year-old. I think that was Ruben Amorim's first signing, or incoming player to Manchester United. Another Diego. Back in the day, there was just one. It was just me. And then Diego Maradona came along, did that handball. Oh my days! I had nightmares when I was in the school school playground when that happened. I got digs, man. I tell you, it was traumatic. I'm still shaking from it because everyone blamed me for it, and I was like, look, I got nothing. I'm not related. I don't know anything. I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone in Diego Maradona's life. Rest his soul, Diego Maradona there. But when he did that handball against England, the hand of God, believe me, I felt the digs in the playground. There was extra hard tackles going into me, and I'm going, look, what did I do? Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. And since then, Manchester United have had Diego Forlan, of course, there's Diego Simone, um, Diego Lopez in other European clubs. There's so many Diego, it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Um, now, just another one that I'm getting here. Um, I think there's going to be um, quite a few, maybe perhaps loan deals between Premier League clubs and Italian clubs. What I would say about any player going to Italy or any club in Europe, the EU does have a no, regulation in place that they have a cap of how many non-EU players can play in any given team, not just in Italy, Spain, and France. There is a cap that clubs have to adhere to. Um, under EU law, and of course the United Kingdom is no longer in the EU, so that has to be considered and looked at, um, and yeah, so anyone looking any football agent looking to move out to a club in Europe has to be conscious about that. Well, nothing will be signed because if the player can't sign legally because of the rules that they have in the EU, um, then it's not going to happen. Um, so that's I needed to just mention that. Some people forget about that. They just talk, oh yeah, he's linked to AC Milan. It's like, well, he's linked to this. Well, if they already got a non-EU player on the books, um, it's not as simple as it looks. You have to adhere to those rules over there. So right on, I have mentioned on I haven't put the thumbnail up because I was just rushing to get online. Um, Ebrieze and Mark GUÉHI, I wouldn't be surprised that there'll continue interest for them in the transfer window. But I have to say, if anyone, go and check. It's live, it's free. I've got nothing to do with the football club at Crystal Palace, just a football fan. But go and check that in training goal between Ebrieze and Mark GUÉHI. It's absolute brilliant. Big up to Palace TV for featuring that. And it's all up there. It's all out there on YouTube, on the official Crystal Palace webpage, YouTube channel. It's all there. Go and check it out. It's a training exercise there of Mark GUÉHI and EZE. And as I say, because we're in at the midst of the beginning of the transfer window, I'm not surprised that clubs will be interested in the services of both Mark GUÉHI and um, EZE as an example. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, we've all heard what's, in essence, mostly lately about what's happening with Mark GUÉHI. An interest there from Chelsea. It's been reported in Sky Sports by other reputable news outlets out there, sports outlets as well. For me, oh, 1 minute, something's just pinned there. Is that good? No, that's not. Okay. For me, I think it's from my understanding, I have not read the contracts. I've got no access to the contract of Mark GUÉHI at Crystal Palace and how he landed there from Chelsea. But my understanding from it, in a nutshell, is that it will be favourable for both parties if there is uh, an idea to help progress the career of Mark GUÉHI, and if so, he wants it because it has to be right for him. It's not just what Chelsea wants, not what Crystal Palace want. The player needs to want it, I expect. But the move from Chelsea of Mark GUÉHI to Crystal Palace, and now for him to potentially explore to go back to Chelsea, is favourable for both parties at either end, Palace and Chelsea. If it was to do that same kind of deal going to another football club, it would be less beneficial to Crystal Palace. That is my understanding on it, and as I say, I don't have access to the black and white piece of paper with all the conditions in it, but that's how the nutshell that I understand it. So if Mark GUÉHI does leave, um, I'll be very upset, very sad. But he comes across as a football fan, as a football player. Of course, I've not spoken to him. All I've ever asked him is for a selfie, and not even a conversation. It's just a selfie, so I don't know him as a person. But um, as a Crystal Palace fan, looking at what Mark GUÉHI has done, not just for the Crystal Palace fans, um, what he's done, I think, with young players at Crystal Palace, whilst the time that he's been there, the established players and those players that are coming towards the end of their playing careers, I think Mark GUÉHI has been an exemplary example on the pitch and off the pitch, representing not just Crystal Palace, the players that he plays alongside, the coaches, the managers that he plays with, has played with, and the one who's got at the moment, of course, Oliver Glasner, and he's represented the club in a magnificent way. So I think he's a brilliant asset to any football club. I think he's humble, he's family driven, and I know that whatsoever that he's humble and he's at peace of what he wants to do with his life. So the decision that he'll make, whether he stays at Palace or whether he goes to Chelsea, or if, for example, a football club like Liverpool come for him, um, that will rattle things, as an example, because I've always said as a Crystal Palace fan, if you're going to leave my Palace, then go to a football club that's going to win a Champions League, that's going to win a Premier League. And I think Liverpool are definitely able to do that. Whether their new manager, Arnold Slot, has been tested enough, and he has the know-how to keep big name players at Liverpool. I think the way he dealt with the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation was terrible, absolutely terrible. The way he threw him underneath the bus after that Manchester United after that Manchester United fixture. That I'm talking about Arnold Slot, and the next match that he just played in the Premier League. After the match, his post-match interview, to me, he just comes across a bit arrogant, Arnold Slot, and he hasn't been tested. He's been given a platter of amazing players at Liverpool. Of course, they were brought in by Jurgen Klopp, and I have to say, um, um, to me, Jurgen Klopp was always protective of his players, always, always. My understanding, looking from the outside, looking in, and um, his demeanour, his way to talking to reporters was direct and humble in that respect. But I'm not seeing that as a Crystal Palace looking from the outside, looking into Liverpool, that Arnold Slot's got the Jurgen Klopp qualities. He looks arrogant. I haven't got time for that. Be direct, be honest about what what you're doing, but be a bit humble about it. And when he said in the League Cup, when they lost against Tottenham Hotspur, he's like, "We came here and we were going to win. We were not going to lose." I'm going, well, you clearly don't know anything about English cup football, do you then, son? You clearly don't know. Well, now you've learned. Be a little bit, a bit humble. Have a little bit of humble pie. Swallow it, and be a bit respectful. But he seems a bit arrogant. Oh yes, I'm the manager of Liverpool, and I've got all these amazing players, and I needed to win. We should have won, and we were the better team. No, you were not the better team against Tottenham Hotspur. No, you were not. Okay, and quite frankly, Tottenham Hotspur should have won that 2-0. But one of the goals was disallowed offside. Anyway, and it's regardless of the fact of whether the goal scorer was in the end should have had the yellow cards before. For Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, which I at the end complaining about it, and then the manager complaining about it, do me a favour. The real Liverpool fans know what I'm saying. The Liverpool players play a hard game, and they take the rules of the game to its limits. Certainly when they did at Selhurst Park, when we lost 1-0 to them, Virgil van Dijk pulled the arm of Mark GUÉHI when we were attacking in the Liverpool penalty area at Selhurst Park. Nearly took his arm off his shoulder joint, and we didn't get no penalty, no VAR decision, nothing. So don't give me that. You know what I mean? They play the game, so and they were outplayed by Tottenham in that League Cup match. Now, any link, I'm just reading here, I have mentioned it in the last watch along, but I'll mention it again quickly. If anyone thinks that Marcus Rashford could go to the Serie A Como side, this is what I mentioned earlier on. They already have Dele Alli, so that caps the amount of non-EU players that team can have. But apparently, they've been saying that they are looking to explore the situation. So, I mean, at the moment, as I know, Dele Alli is still training with Como, so it is what it is. I don't see that one coming there. Right, I'm going to quickly have a quick refresh. We're coming up to 60 minutes. I wanted to keep it to 1 hour. Please, if you're watching on playback, please hit a like and subscribe at DYCHE Palace. Oh, 1 minute. Let me just make sure. Oh, let's have a look. Oh. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm just refreshing it just in case there is other breaking news, and just bear with me. I'm just going to refresh to make sure. Please hit like, help me get to 5 likes if you can, if you're watching on playback, and I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so if you can subscribe to the channel, I'd be most grateful to you. And also, if you can share it, let people know that I'm doing a bit of reaction to live stories in the transfer market, not just affecting Crystal Palace, but also other teams as well. Where's my story thing? Oh no, it's not this one. Sorry, I've got so many devices with making sure I don't miss anything. For those of you who do are interested in the Crystal Palace players that could be incoming to Crystal Palace, nothing, as I understand it, no negotiations, official negotiations between the clubs of the following players: Joby Bellingham has always had an interest there. Um, Crystal Palace have had an interest in him there, but that he would come with a hefty transfer fee for us at Palace, I would suspect, and there will be competition to sign Joby Bellingham, no doubt. So he would, if he's got competition coming in for him, he would want to pick the best deal for himself, not just the club, but also financially. I would have thought it's a no-brainer. Another player, of course, Joby Bellingham is a central midfielder. Um, I think that the Joby Bellingham thing would go up another level of that type of interest of that player coming to Crystal Palace. Should someone come in for any of our midfielders that are not injured at the moment, we've got Adam Walton there, we've got Daniel Munoz, Jefferson Lerma, who plays in the number 8 position, and he can play in other positions as well. We've got Cheikh Decore there coming back to where he was before. Of course, we've got um, uh, as Hughesy, Will Hughes, and apparently there's some interest from other clubs. Um, so it depends. It depends if we lose midfielders, um, and also attacking wingers, midfield areas. If we lose if someone comes with a serious offer for Ebrieze, then Oliver Glasner and Dougie Freeman, I suppose, will have to act in that attacking form, in that midfield, in the midfield area as well. Now, another player linked as well, but his transfer fees around I think about 8 or 9 mil, and that's Nasser DYCHE. He's a centre back. That's the one that could bring in as cover. We've got Chadi Riyad, the Moroccan international, coming back to fully fitness. He's had a few under 21 games. He's had a few. He's back on the grass training. So I'm so happy for Chadi Riyad, the Moroccan international defender. I was so gutted for him when he got injured earlier on in the season. Absolutely gutted for him because I think he definitely looks like a good prospect. But when he'd covered that, should Chelsea hook back Trevor Chavela back from loan back to their Chelsea, and also if they come in also for Mark GUÉHI, this is Chelsea. Good afternoon. Hey, big up to you, Alex SR. Make sure you don't lose anything. Stay safe with all this bad weather. Please stay safe, Alex SR. Thank you for dropping in. Don't leave your phone. Don't lose your phone, and don't lose. Just get yourself home safe. And thank you very much for dropping in, Alex SR7. Now, also another player linking up with Crystal Palace is the youngster, the Scottish right winger, Ben Doak, from Middlesbrough, I believe. And so that will be interesting to say. Probably around 11 to 12 mil, maybe going a bit more. But I think the one which I don't know. I don't know anyone in the club. I don't, but big up to Dougie Freeman for doing a selfie at the last Premier League. I just asked him for a selfie, and that was it. I don't. We didn't have a conversation or anything like that, and I don't know anyone at the football club. Um, but massive thank you to our legend Dougie Freeman for doing a selfie with me. I was so happy, and then we got a draw against Chelsea. A little bit disappointed because I wanted to win those 3 points away against Chelsea. But I was over the moon to get a selfie with Dougie Freeman. Now, um, um, another player which I think is definitely been worked on by, I expect the scouting team at Crystal Palace, and I suppose Dougie Freeman and the people that he works alongside with at Crystal Palace in looking for young talent is, of course, none other than Roman EZE. And we're going to have 2 Ezes at Crystal Palace. Come on, let's do it. Of course, he's available to play internationally for England and for the Republic of Ireland, if I'm not mistaken. But he's an attacking midfielder. and of course we've got Adam Walton injured. We've got interest I've been hearing for Hughesy, and obviously we've got Adam Walton injured there. Will he be interested still by City because of the Rodri situation, and the other injuries that they've got? So yeah, so I think Roman Eze would be one, and his selling price from Millwall, um, I'm hearing, is something in the region between 6 to 7 mil, um, and of course that's not counting the wages and all that. Not so it's one of those, and so those are the four players, main players that look of interest that I can sense to report back within Crystal Palace. Of course, I don't know anyone at the club, and I'm a bit old school. I kind of wait until the club announces it official because there's people that are paid at the football club to um, to be diligent in these affairs of bringing players in. And I would hate to be the person in charge at Crystal Palace that has to deselect a player in the transfer window in the middle of a season. That's got to affect players big time. I would hate to have that job at any football club, certainly at Crystal Palace. That's got to be a heartbreak. That's got to be, if not one of the toughest jobs at Crystal Palace. Not just in the men's. Oh, yeah, and good luck to Laura Kaminsky, the Crystal Palace women. They're back to playing in the WSL this Sunday. Good luck to Grace Williams, the head of women's football at Crystal Palace, in the transfer window. Um, and we've released a few players. We've released a player already, so I'll try and do something on that later on as well, when we get breaking news. But as I say, I like to wait until the club officially breaks the news when it comes to the signing of new Crystal Palace women players and also of Crystal Palace men who might be signed. So those are the four players: Roman Eze, attacking midfielder, a right winger, Ben Doak, Nasser Diaga, whom is a centre back, and of course none other than Joby Bellingham. That could be someone that could be linked to Crystal Palace, but we'll have to wait and see. I think they will have an action plan at Crystal Palace. Um, 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 Not a plan A, but they will have they'll have targets, and they'll have I expect spoken to the manager there, and also upstairs to Steve Parish, um, and have um, a plan in the short term. What I mean by saying the short term, at the beginning of the transfer window, and as the window progresses, given on who might leave or what might come about, and therefore responding to that very quickly and what they can bring in. So it's not just of what targets they would have, like example like Romain Eze from Millwall. Um, I think that's a no-brainer for me. Um, that would be a good investment coming into Crystal Palace, I would have thought, and get him on a 3.5 year contract, something like that. Um, and at the end of that, maybe re-sign him, or he'll become a better player at Crystal Palace. I mean, no shout. Been hear a lot of good things about Romain Eze from non-Crystal Palace fans, and so that looks it's a no-brainer for Crystal Palace, in my opinion. Also, for me, yeah, as I said, we'll have to wait and see what clubs like Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, if those big clubs come in. I don't think Arsenal will come in for any of the Crystal Palace players because, quite frankly, they've got a manager there that, I mean, for him to blame the manufacturer of the football as to why they lost against Newcastle, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he gets released at Arsenal. Why? Because money talks and results talk. It's the name of the game if you're a Premier League manager, and Mikel Arteta has been, I think it's over 5 years now, coming up to 5 years, and over 750 mil net spent on transfers while he's been there, and he's not won any silverware, none whatsoever, with his own players, with that money that has been spent, net spent in transfers for him under Edu. So and for him to blame the football, it's a matter of time. He won't. Yeah, at the moment that they get knocked out of the Champions League, and if they're not in contentions for the Premier League, he'll be gone. He'll be gone. That's my opinion. Right. So I'm leaving that. I'm just refreshing that because I keep refreshing the transfer for Crystal Palace, but nothing on there. And it's just gone over the 60-minute mark. I wanted to do it for 1 hour. Please subscribe at DYCHE Palace if you are new. Please help me. Why does it keep dropping out? It's madness. I've got this device up here, making sure that we don't miss anything. Just before, because it all will happen. You stop streaming, and then some breaking news happens, and you're like, "Oh, I should have stayed on." I expect, but this is only my second transfer sort of update, responding and reacting to things as they come in the transfer window, and it's not working. Let me just have a refresh there, and last of all, let me have a refresh over here. I think I had it on a charge and it just got too hot, this thing. Well, not on transfers, but I'd have covered in this transfer. Please help me get to, if you can, to 5 likes, and big up to everyone in the chat that came through. And if you're watching on playback, please subscribe at DYCHE Palace if you haven't. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, and the support from all of you out there has been absolutely amazing. If you're not a Crystal Palace fan, please check out the club that you support. There'll be a playlist on it. I've covered most of the football clubs in the Premier League, and there's also some content there on the Crystal Palace women. I'm going to pull my socks up on that one, I have to say, and put some more content out there on that one as well. It's just having a refresh here, and just have there's a report here. Oh, right. And right, this is breaking news. It's been reported by this is where's this from? This is from Sky Sports. They're saying that the Sky Bet League 2 club, of course, Salford, have received. This is how they behave themselves between Manchester City fans and Manchester United. It's just they just like to rub salt into the wounds of each other. It's just, I don't understand it, but I suppose a Manchester United fan and a Manchester City fan will know exactly what they're talking about. But it's just been reported the Sky Bets League 2 club Salford have received a helping hand from Manchester United in their preparations for Saturday's huge FA Cup third round trip to Manchester City. United made their famous old training ground, the Cliff, available for the fourth tier neighbours after the pitches of their own facility had frozen over. So Manchester United coming to the rescue of Salford, the Sky Bet League 2 football club. Of course, they're up against Manchester City, and their training ground had frozen over. So Manchester United has gave them a lending hand there. They've loaned them, or they've helped them facilitate the Cliff, which is the old training ground. Big up to good afternoon. I should say good evening now. Is it? No, it's good evening. Let me see who's just dropped in there. Big up to Alex SR7, and stay safe, and don't lose anything. And then also Semic 006. After watching you, my view against Palace has changed positive way. Oh, thank you very much. That's a pleasant comment there. When I've ever travelled away as a Crystal Palace fan to an away ground, it's of course once you go to your right, to whomever you're playing up against, you let it go. The things that Crystal Palace fans say to the Liverpool fans at Anfield, I can't say on here because it'll be struck off. They'll take away my channel. We do say very unpolitical correct things to the Liverpool fans, but it's all just bad to just. If you talk to Liverpool fans, go and talk to them. They will tell you that Real Madrid fans and Crystal Palace fans, they really get up their hooter for various different reasons, of course. With Real Madrid fans, because of what they've inflicted to them. Um, quite frankly, Liverpool should have had at least 2 or 3 more Champions League trophies in their trophy cabinet. Had there been some very dubious decisions in Champions League confrontations with Real Madrid fans and their players in the Champions League. Big up to you, Steve. I hope you are well, keeping warm and safe. Um, and so, thank you very much for that comment there from Simic. Simic006, and I'll tell you something. But once what we say to each other, say as an example at Anfield, or what we say Crystal Palace fans say to the fans of Manchester United, as an example, or what we say to the Arsenal fans inside Selhurst Park or at their home grounds. Once the football is done, I've never felt any animosity or any bad will, in a sense, to the other human being who might be from another football club. And be careful about relieving where you guys live. Just say in the country. Remember that you guys are live. So be careful about disclosing where you all live. I just want to keep everyone safe in the chat. Don't put on the chat exactly where you live. That's never advisable on YouTube or any social media platform. But I'm sure that's a polite. You just said city, but yeah, just be careful. Don't put your addresses of where you live. I don't recommend it for anybody. And that's it. Just say yes. That's it. Say Scotland. Everyone's safety has to be of paramount, and for everyone being there. By all means, say where you've been and what you're doing. More or less, say you've gone to a museum or something like that, and you're talking about it. That's a different thing. But be safe. But big up to everybody. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saying it. But I'm just making sure because there could be people. This channel is open to anyone and of any age. So please be careful. And I'm learning this well to do that. But big up to you, Semic006, and to you, Steve RFC, and also there was Alex SR7. Big up to the 3 of you. There was a question there about goalkeeper. What was that? Yeah, sorry. What do you think about goalkeepers of Manchester United? Onana and Bandit both conceded goals from a corner. I think it's because of the new formation that Ruben Amorim is bringing in to. I suppose Manchester United fans will know a bit more than I do, but I've been intrigued of how Ruben Amorim has tried to introduce that thing and echo that because, as an example, Ruben Amorim went to Anfield, and he has become the first manager this season, whether it's from domestic football teams or from European teams, to go to Old Trafford and play 3 at the back. He's the very first manager to have played that way. And of course, at Crystal Palace, Oliver Glasner plays 3 at the back, Daniel Munoz and Tarek Mitchell at either end, and just going forward to attacking. And so the reason why I mentioned that fact is because Onana, the goalkeeper during that game against Liverpool at Anfield, in my opinion, Onana did what he should do. He's not a bad keeper, but when he first came to Manchester United, he just kept leaving the position where he should be behind either post, and he didn't go AWOL. So he just needs to stay in his goal and read the play, position himself wise in the professional manner that he can do between the sticks. What I mean is between the both posts, and be in constant communication with their captain, whether it's Maguire or whomever the centre half is in front of him. Be in communication with his defenders. But what the reason why you're asking that question is, what do I think about the goalkeepers at Manchester United? Considering a goal from a corner, that set pieces come from training. As a football fan, that's how I see it. It comes from training. But to prevent the set pieces in the first place, the Manchester United two in the pivot, where there is Casemiro and Ugarte, whether it's Kobe Mainoo and Casemiro, or Ugarte and Kobe Mainoo, or whatever combination they play, that midfield combination needs to protect that back line, whether it's in the transition from defence to attack or vice versa. And that's where it's key for Manchester United. So if you're saying, what do I think about the goalkeepers? Well, they need protection from their midfield pivot combination. And Ruben Amorim has been different selections there. At my Crystal Palace, I think that our best number 8 positional player is Jefferson Lerma, a Colombiano. He's the best one that we've got on payroll to do that role. And then he can either play off alongside Cheika Decore, Hughesy. I prefer him playing alongside Hughesy. He's become a different animal this season. Well done to Hughesy, Will Hughes there. And so I would like to see him play in our pivot there with the back three at Crystal Palace with Jefferson Lerma and Hughesy. I think that's when they're the best. But also don't discount Cheika Decore. He's getting back to where the levels where he was before he got that injury, and he was linked, of course, to this is doing my nut. I keep losing. Why is it doing that? Let me just I'm going to switch this off and refresh. I was only going to do 1 hour, but I'm actually going on a bit more since all of you dropped in. Thank you very much. I hope I haven't lost you guys in the live stream. Am I still live? I don't know what's going on. I think it's still live. No, it's dropped. Oh, right, okay. Am I live? I don't know. I have no idea. Let's have a look. Oh. I just something happened to my Wi-Fi. Just bear with me. I just got. Yeah, I think I am still live. Don't know what's going on. I was only going to be for an hour, but I'm going a bit more because there's always breaking news going on in the transfer at this time of the day. Something usually drops out because it gets started during the beginning of the day in the transfer day, and then towards the end of the working day at the football clubs. I think I've had a problem with my Wi-Fi. And I'm coming to the chat in a minute. I don't know, my device has just dropped, so I don't know if my Wi-Fi dropped and then it picked itself up. I can confirm that I'm still live. Oh my god. And big up to everyone in the chat. Thank you very much for dropping in. And keep warm and keep safe with this really cold weather that we've been experiencing. And big up to Steve. Steve in the chat says, Simic first says 006. Don't worry, I won't find you. Yeah, be safe, everyone in the chat. And your safety, your well-being is more important to me actually than this channel. So please stay safe, everyone out there, and keep warm with this cold weather. Now, Steve ROC says, FA Cup on game. I want to see Dundee Rangers. Yeah, I might have to cover that later on. Got to go and get my tea on, get some food in, and yes, I'm actually gonna wind it up now because I'm gonna. Not because of what you said, Steve, but yeah, there's a lot of football coming on. It's coming up to 6:30, and let me just check. If you can, please help me get to 5 likes in the chat, or anyone watching on playback, and please subscribe at Diego C Palace if you are new. I'm just gonna try and what's going on here? I'm just checking there is no other live refreshes, and leave that there. Right. I think that's okay. Right. Right. Let me just quickly check that I haven't missed anything else in the chat. Yeah, big up to you, Steve. So yeah, you're right. There's lots of FA Cup tired games tonight. I don't know. I think one of them was actually being looked at for the pitch conditions up north, and of course Dundee versus Rangers. That's going to be a tasty morsel. Got to get the food ready, and I'm definitely gonna listen to that match because that looks intriguing. What type of Rangers are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a hot Rangers side, or are we gonna get a cold one? Like I said last night with the Tottenham Hotspur match. Um, so I'm just gonna go into my last of the transfer um, updates to see whatnot, and just coming to you people. Let me quickly check on this one. I think I'm still. Um, but yeah, so I was talking about it, and I got interrupted there because my Wi-Fi just kind of collapsed on me. But I can confirm it's been reported. This is on the report from here is through the Sky Sports transfer feed uh, channel, I suppose, and it has confirmed that Sky Bet League Two club Salford. They're receiving a helping hand from Manchester United in the preparations for Saturday's huge FA Cup third round trip to Manchester City. The problem that Salford has experienced, and I'm going to carry on quoting, United have made their famous old training ground, the Cliff, available for the fourth tier neighbours after the pitches of their own facility had frozen over. So Manchester United helping Salford there with the training facilities. Um, the report goes on to there is no name attached to this, so I can't put a name to this report, but this I'm taking it from Sky Sports News official web page, and but there's no reporter's name on it, so I can't I can't give you a name because I like to give the reporter's name. I think it's only professional to do so. But Sky Sports News goes on to say here, quoting them. Um, that has enabled Salford, who are owned by a group of players from United's famous class of '92, to prepare with some approaching normality, one of the biggest fixtures in their club histories. Of course, Salford, they're a few leagues below. So it's a massive day for them on Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? It's on Saturday. And of course, it's going to be in my opinion, a good revenue opportunity for them. The more people that go, the more attention they get. I think that's how it works. So hopefully they'll get some good inward investment from that fixture against Manchester City. Even though it's at the Etihad, it goes on to say. We've had difficulties as you're managing, says the manager Carl Robinson, whose side are third in League Two. So, and then he goes on to say, we've been unable to use our pitches because of how difficult it's been with the weather in the northwest. So, and then he goes on to say, this is, uh, um, oh, I just lost it. This is Carl Robinson being quoted by Sky Sports. He goes on to say, we called Manchester United and they've been brilliant, allowing us to train at the Cliff. Luckily enough, it's still got the indoor facility, which we're very thankful for. We're lucky our training ground is just around the corner and we don't have to waste too much time getting there. So that's a really good gesture there by Manchester United. And, oh, 1 minute. I've just lost your comment there. And how do I do this? And Steve Harris says Graham Potter could go to Everton. No, Steve, he's already been appointed as the West Ham manager. I confirmed that this morning. Graham Potter is officially already the West Ham manager. That's been announced by West Ham, Karen Brady and whatnot down there at West Ham United. The manager that could go to Everton, given the circumstances at the moment, I think he should be David Moyes. I think that's a no-brainer. Whether he wants to go there, I don't know. Another one under the radar, and he's available. It's Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is an Everton fan. He's an Everton. No, big up to you, Steve. Don't worry about it. The amount of times that you've come into the chat and told me things that I'm like, I wasn't aware of. I've lost count. So big up to you, Steve. Um, but yeah, David Graham Potter has been announced as the West Ham manager, and the also thing that I've heard by Sky Sports, there is an interest from West Ham for Marcus Rashford. That is official. It's not a whisper. This is coming from Sky Sports. Apparently, representatives of West Ham United have made it clear to Manchester United representatives that they would like to be kept in the loop. Marcus Rashford to West Ham United, a new challenge for him. And they've got attacking players that are injured, of course. Antonio, the striker there, of course, that car crash. I hope he recovers well for West Ham from that injury, from that car crash. I'm sure everyone wishing him well. And so there could be something that could be done there. But I think there would have to be some serious negotiation, of course, about the wages of Marcus Rashford are on. And I'm sure if there's a deal there to be had, and Marcus Rashford looks like he's keen on going to West Ham for the end of the season loan, I think someone like Karen Brady there, Dame Karen Brady, I should say, if anyone can get a deal like that over the line, if it's the right fit for the club, of course, West Ham United, and amicably for Manchester United, and importantly for the player, you don't want to get a player that doesn't want to play for you, if you know what I mean. I think Karen Brady will definitely, Dame Karen Brady will definitely get that over the line. If anyone could, she will. So they, Manchester United fans there, or anyone with interest for Manchester United or West Ham, they have officially said to Manchester United, can you keep us in the loop? And that's official via the Sky Sports transfer centre. There was a report that they put in there. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. And yeah, it's a good gesture there from Manchester United, helping out Salford there for the preparations for their fixture, FA Cup fixture against Manchester City at the Etihad. And it's good to see that. But it's just, I've been sorting it. Manchester United opening up their facilities to, it's not the first team facilities, it's the old ground, it's called, the old training ground is called the Cliff. And it's apparently not too far away from Salford. So it's working, and yeah, I think that's brilliant. So then the Salford players will be as best possible prepared for up against one of the best teams in Europe, with one of the best managers up there, of course, Pep Guardiola and Manchester City side. They're looking to be turning around the corner. I don't think Manchester City players have fully turned the corner. They need to get absolutely everyone back fully fit, and they're looking that they're interested in a few players at the moment. Manchester City, actually, there was something about that. Was a youngster that they've been interested with, and let's have a quick look. And no, I can't find it, but definitely there. So yeah, so that'll be a good interesting. But of course, I'm going to be concentrating on Crystal Palace versus Stockport at the weekend. Now, I'm just going to quickly have a quick refresh here on the transfers. West Ham, yeah, Steve, if you're still in the chat, Graham Potter has given his first West Ham interview as the West Ham manager. That's all online right now, so that's all online there. Also, this happened, a mutual agreement. Rob Edwards has left the managerial position at Luton Town. They just can't find a way to just get out and climb up that championship table. And another breaking news this morning when I did the early breaking news earlier on today. I'm going to quickly round it off now because I need to go and get tea done, get some food in, and then to the watch-alongs later on. Wolves signed centre-back Emmanuel Agdabou for 16.6 million from French side Reims. Good to see Potter in the Premier League. Yeah, he's a good manager. He's a good manager. And I think Sean Dyche is also a good manager. So time will tell. Time will tell. And so there's going to be Sean Dyche will get it. There won't be a lackluster of. Let's have a look here. There's some reporting there for Nottingham Forest. It looks like the Nottingham Forest midfielder Danilo is looking to be available for selection against Luton, having because he's recovering from that long-term ankle breakage, and they have to be ever so careful with breakages. Um, he looks like he won't be starting. Nuno, Espirito Nunes has said, "We all wish to see Daniel back in the pitch. He's going through. He's going to be involved in the squad. He's not going to start. Hopefully, we can see him, but we are delighted to have him back." So basically, following his broken ankle, that is the Nottingham Forest midfielder Danilo. Um, when players go through an injury like that, I think it's important that they can get as quick as possible, safely as possible, back with the boots touching the grass, and that gives them, um, um, if you like, the carrot to just get back into team selection. So, well, I mean, Nottingham Forest are doing so well at the moment, so he'll be wondering, can I get back into the side? But that's good to see players recovering from injury. Now, there is a safety meeting going on right now. I can report at 14:46. Don't know what time it is now. It says here it's between Everton and Peterborough. Liverpool have seen icy conditions today, but the FA Cup tie between Everton and Peterborough will go ahead. Right, it's official now, as planned following the safety meeting. The match will kick off at 7:45, nearly in an hour's time. I'm going to get my food going, and coverage for that fixture is going to be on the BBC iPlayer if anyone's interested. I think you've got to press a button or something, but it's available on the BBC iPlayer. The Met office yellow warning of ice across Merseyside was from 1600 to 10 on Friday. So they're saying, please, anyone going to that match, do take care and get there and get home safely. And the same goes for the Sheffield United, Cardiff, Fulham, and Watford fans. And so just everybody out there, take extra care if you're going to these matches in these hazardous conditions. And also, when you get to the stadiums, help each other to get to your seats. There'll always be someone that's vulnerable, and they may be on their own. And so do help each other out in whatever stadium you go to, and help each other out. Right, I could bark on, but I'm trying to see if there's any other breaking news. It's just reports of news, and another announcement there reiterating the Edwards leaving Luton by mutual consent. I don't believe that any manager or any coaching staff go into a team not wanting to be successful, and just sometimes it just doesn't work out. And it is what it is. So this has been my second transfer window watch along reaction live to everything that's happened, and I've covered Everton, I've covered West Ham, I've covered the Marcus Rashford situation, and what my thoughts on that, and how it can have implications for transfers in other football clubs like my Crystal Palace. I've covered a bit of Liverpool there. I've covered Manchester City, and Newcastle and Aston Villa charged by FA. I didn't know about this. I'm going to go into this quickly. Newcastle and Villa charged over half-time melee. Yeah, I saw that. Newcastle United, Aston Villa, and staff member from both clubs have been charged following an incident at half-time during the sides in recent Premier League match. The Magpies beat Aston Villa 3-0 at St James's Park on 26th of December. Yeah, I remember that. And with Villa striker John Duran sent off after the 32 minutes, the Colombian international, for stamping on Fabian Schär. The Football Association has charged both teams for failing to control their players and staff following their altercations during the break. Newcastle assistant head coach Jason Tindall, who was sent off for his part in the incidents, as well as the Villa analyst Victor Manas, have both been charged for acting in an improper manner. That's this now breaking. It has broken. So they've been charged. asked in this post and media conference if the incident will be described as the 20-man half-time melody. Newcastle head coach says, yeah, I don't think that's far off. These things always start out, I don't think, with the intention of happening in the way that it did. And that's Eddie Howe being quoted there. There was probably 17 or 18 people trying to calm it down, but it looked like there are more people involved. The Villa manager Unai Emery was furious with Duran's sending off, and frustrations continued throughout the first half. Tyndall was later seen as shushing Emery in the technical area, and the two clubs and personnel have until the 13th of January to respond. Should they want to appeal, I suppose, or whether they just want to just take it and move on. Um, so I agree with what Eddie Howe there says. I like the way he interviews there. He's just said, look, these things are never planned. It's just emotions are very high between both coaching styles. And I like to see that as a football fan. But they have a responsibility to keep things in check, because there is, over 30,000 people in that venue. And if something kicks off, it can ricochet into other situations elsewhere. So there's a responsibility from people in responsibility roles at any football ground, and also the fans have a responsibility in how they conduct themselves as well. Um, make no doubt about it. When every time I see a Crystal Palace fan do something madness at Selhurst Park, I'm thinking, how much is that going to cost the club now? I mean, it's not like we've got the net expenditure like of other football top six clubs. So when a football fan does some madness at Selhurst Park, I'm thinking that's going to cost Crystal Palace, because the FA is going to, no doubt, make a report. The FA are going to come in, and that's going to have a financial implication to the football club, and have a consequence effect to that, to something else, where they would want to put that money into something useful, perhaps into the Crystal Palace women's team, or perhaps into um, a Palace community project or something like that. It will have an effect. So not just the players, but also the fans have a responsibility at football games to just it's a football game. You don't have to take lumps at each other. If you know, you know. Um, um, right, right. I'm going to close it off there. Anyone in the chat, thank you very much for tuning in and making it for my very first, second ever live transfer show. Um, big up to Steve RSC. I hope you're well. Stay safe. Also, big up to Semic 006. Also to Alex SR7. And I hope I haven't missed anybody else out there. But if I have, I do apologise. But thank you very much for dropping into the chat. Thank you very much for anybody out there. And don't forget, I've got nothing to do with Crystal Palace, but on YouTube, the official Crystal Palace YouTube channel of cpfc.co.uk, but YouTube, they've just released a video of EZE and Mark GUÉHI with an insane goal in training, showing love, what they do to all the squad players at Palace, and it's just wonderful to see. Go and check it out. I just want to affirm that I have nothing to do directly or indirectly. I'm just a football fan. I love my Crystal Palace, but go and check the YouTube channel of Crystal Palace. They've just uploaded an amazing video about EZE and Mark GUÉHI. It's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Up to Palace TV for featuring that and putting it up there. Can we have some more Palace TV? Can we have more videos of EZE and Mark GUÉHI? And let's have more interviews from all the other Crystal Palace players as well in these difficult cold times in these transfer windows. That's what I want to see. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay safe, everyone out there. And just quickly, last refresh to see if anything's happened. Yeah, I think I've covered everything there and thereabouts. I'll be back later on for the watch along, Scottish Premiership, and also in the FA Cup. Please, if you're new to the channel, And please subscribe at Diego C. Palace. Please set your notifications bell on at Diego C. Palace. And if you can, please like it. If you can, share it. And last of all, a massive thank you to everyone out there who's watched, commented, liked, shared it, and are enjoying the content. But without your interactions, sometimes I need that, because I need like a kick up the backside to go and do something else, like I've done today. The second transfer live reaction as the news comes in. So everyone out there, stay safe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you up later on today for the FA Cup fixtures and the Scottish Premiership ties as well, and any other further breaking news as it breaks. Please hit a like and subscribe to Diego C. Palace. Stay safe and see you soon, everyone. Take care, everyone. See you later on.